Well, happy meteorological spring, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. It is Saturday, March the 1st. It is the first day of meteorological spring, and it's just a little bit after 12 p.m. Eastern Time here, a little after 11 Central Time. I want to bring you an update on the latest, and we have a winter storm on the way, as you probably well know. What a great way to celebrate meteorological spring by having an ice and snowstorm come in, right? Man, can we not get a break this winter? I'm so ready to forecast 75 and mostly sunny for a few days in a row, but unfortunately, don't see that in there right now. Now, today we're going to have a little bit milder day. We'll dive in and talk about that here in a second. Today's video update, sponsored by High Voltage Mobile DJ Service. You can give Nathan a call at 630-9465. Visit him on the web at djhighvoltage.com. They have a lot of great things that they can offer you. They have a mobile outdoor stage, lots of cool lasers for a light show, and all kinds of every bit of music you could think of. So make sure you check them out whenever you are in need for a DJ. Tell them Southern Indiana Weather sent you. All right. It's pretty cloudy out there right now. Here's the latest satellite and current conditions. And, we're already up to 49 in Evansville, 46 in Huntingburg, 46 in Washington, even up to 44 already up in Indianapolis. So warm in the area, and that's actually seasonable. I say warm, but that's actually pretty well where we should be. Our average high temperature is in the low 50s this time of the year right now. So it's going to be nice to actually hit a seasonable temperature for once, but don't expect that over the coming days because tomorrow and really beginning tonight, it looks like we're going to bottom out the thermometer again, and oh, it's a mess that's headed our way. Let me show you that mess. Let me back out here and show you. Let me take off the satellite. You can already start to see the winter storm, the beginning waves start to take shape up here in the Great Plains states. This is what's going to skirt off to the north. Out here to our west, you see some initial bands down here in the Phoenix area around Albuquerque. That initial wave is going to slide through overnight very quickly, and you can see if I just let me put on the satellite here for the western continental United States, and you can see the main low that's going to cause the majority of these problems on Sunday is now coming onshore. The low of it, the center of the low is just a little bit offshore, but most of the storm is onshore, so that's a good thing. The storm is at least partially onshore, so now our models will start to get more reliable from here out. This is very quickly, and I mean quickly, going to truck it across the country in a fashion similar to this, and well, actually more in a fashion similar to this, and then it's going to essentially ride up a cold front that's going to be across our area tomorrow, and as that rides up, that's going to give us a wintry mess right here for our zone. Let's time it all out for you so you can get an idea of what to expect, and then we'll talk about what kind of snow and ice accumulations I'm expecting for this as well. You've seen this map before. We've been using this a lot. This is the precipitation type map. I'm going to use the GFS again because the GFS has been the only one really that's been consistent all throughout this process. I've been very impressed with it. It's trended a little bit more on the cold side, but I'll show you some of those warmer models as well, and we'll kind of moderate the difference between them maybe here a little bit. Here we are by about 1 this morning, overnight tonight, and you see a little bit of that light precipitation moving into the area. By 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, the freezing rain and sleet is overtaking in the area, and we are all below freezing according to this. Remember, the orange is your sleet, the light pinks here are your freezing rains, and then you got your snows in these purpley shades up here to the north. Very quickly as you go throughout the day, you see a pretty heavy icing threat. And I would say a lot of this sleet will be mixing in with snow at times. The later in the afternoon that we work in, then the heavier snow starts to work its way south. And by the time you get into Monday evening, it is all gone. All right. Let's get a little bit more specific and time it out, though, on Future Radar. I want to show you our high-resolution NAM Future Radar product. I think this has got a fairly good handle on it. It's a little bit more on the warm side compared to the GFS, but that actually may not be such a bad thing. The GFS has had a little bit of a cold bias here lately, and the GFS wants to keep us below freezing from the entire time tonight, starting from really about midnight 1 a.m. on. I think it may be another 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours beyond that before we go freezing, but we do go below freezing overnight. I think the icing does start tonight regardless. The NAM, I think, has a pretty good handle on this on the Future Radar, so let's put this into motion. Here you come. Here's that batch moving in from the north. Here's late this Saturday evening, and you see northern Indiana starts to get it. You got this first wave moving up from Texas and moving on in, and here we are by 11 p.m. tonight. No worries. Anything that would move in would be just a few light rain showers, the 32-degree line. It's to our north. Again, by this time, the GFS would take it very close to the Ohio River, but I'm not completely buying that. I do think it's probably going to be a little bit overnight before we cool down. And you see some precipitation starting to move here. Here's 2 a.m., here's 3 a.m., and you see this blue line. There's your freezing line, and as you put this forward in time, that overtakes the area, so that really the high-resolution NAM has that over the area by 7 a.m. We are all below freezing and starting the main event by then. So the GFS takes it a little bit quicker than this. I could reasonably split the difference and say probably 3 or 4 a.m. onward we may be able to see this, but certainly think that we're going to be waking up to some freezing rain and sleet by the time you get up on Sunday morning. Church services most certainly will be in danger of needing to be canceled. I'm not going to say that they're going to need to be canceled until we actually observe that, but there's certainly a really good chance of it at this point. And then as you move through the day, you see we get some pretty heavy precipitation rates with sleet and freezing rain. That's what the purple is. The purple is the sleet and freezing rain on this model. It doesn't differentiate between those two. It just kind of lumps them in all together, and you see it gets pretty heavy at times as you go throughout it. And then you get a little bit of a lull in the action before the Nain wave starts to move up out of Texas, and this is the secondary low. This is the low that's currently located in California, and it'll start booking it across. That's when the heavy precipitation starts, and so as we go into the overnight hours Sunday night, that's when your snow really hits. Here's by 4 a.m. on Monday morning, and you can see by then you've got heavy, heavy snow across the area. Then ignore these green colors up here. Sometimes the NAM has a little bit of trouble in its graphics processing, but this would certainly be all snow up here. And as I said, some of it looks like it could be fairly heavy at times, and then the majority of that is moved out of here by the time Monday afternoon comes. All right, let's talk about how much can we expect. Again, here's one of the challenges in forecasting this. Let me just show you this. It looks a little confusing. This is what we call the SREF plume. Short Range Ensemble Forecast is what the SREF stands for, and what we got are multiple different variations of this one model, and these are snow predictions from those different members of it, and you can see the totals are all over the place. So this is for the Huntingburg Airport. You've got really 7.26 inches up to this one to 0 inches of snow on that one. I don't buy the 0 at all, but you can see that there's only one member that says that. Some of them say as low as maybe a half inch. The mean out of this is about 2.9 inches of snow, so that gives you an idea of its thinking on this. But that's the challenge in forecasting snow, is whenever you have totals like this all across the board. We could take a look, excuse me here, I put the right tab on, with the GFS as well, and get an idea of the GFS's snow totals, and it's saying, a good 6 inches here over parts of the area in this purple. And remember, this is based on a 10-to-1 ratio. By the time the snow starts to fall after on Sunday night, it's likely going to be more like a 15-to-1 ratio, so this 6 inches would turn more into like 9 inches if that were the case. I don't know that I necessarily buy that. That may be a little bit overdone as well. So again, I've tried to back off of that and provide you with a little bit more moderate amounts of snow total. So here's my current thinking on it as far as what I believe that we can expect for this. Again, I do expect some freezing rain, but I think the bulk of the freezing rain threat is going to be more down in towards Kentucky, all right? A quarter to a half inch of freezing rain south of the red line down here in Kentucky, and then 1 to 3 inches of snow and sleet down there on top of that. Most of us here in southern Indiana, though, will be up to a quarter inch of freezing rain. Some of us could be significantly less than that, and that certainly would be a good thing. Depends on how fast the atmosphere cools down and transitions more into a sleet threat. But then on top of that freezing rain, then we're going to go into 2 to 6 inches of snow and sleet on top of that freezing rain. So it's going to be a mess around here no matter how you look at it. North of that line and closer towards the Indianapolis area, you're looking at all snow. It's possible this line may go up just a little bit more toward the north there, but this is pushing it. I think the majority of the ice accumulations is going to be basically south of the I-70 corridor, let's say it that way. 6 to 9 inches of all snow around the Terre Haute area, Indianapolis area, and places to the north from there. And then, of course, you get up into northern Indiana, it would start to taper off a little bit more as well. But, excuse me, most of us are going to be facing a pretty light freezing rain threat overall. Again, the heaviest of freezing rain, I think, stays down in Kentucky. But 2 to 6 inches of snow and sleet on top of up to a quarter inch of a glaze of freezing rain is not a pretty picture and can certainly cause a mess around here. Let's talk about temperatures throughout this event as well. And let me show you the GFS and talk about its cold bias just a little bit, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Compare it to the high-resolution NAM, and you'll see exactly what I mean. By this evening, no worries if you're headed out tonight. Here we are by 7 p.m. and we're still in the mid 40s down here in southern Indiana. Then very quickly by 1 a.m. we're already down to near the freezing mark in the area, and then by 7 a.m. everybody in the state is below freezing, and we're into that significant icing event underway, and then we just continue to fall throughout the time period. Now the high resolution NAM falls us during the day as well, but not quite as much. You can see if I get it to the right thing here we go through the day on Saturday. It actually warms us up to about 53. I'm forecasting 51, but I'd take a little bit warmer. That wouldn't bother me one bit. Here we are by about 3 tonight, Eastern Time, and we're still, some of us are already below freezing, but here we are along the river, and we're still hovering near the freezing mark. So again, this is a couple hours later than what the GFS would say, and then notice that most of us don't go below freezing here until about 5 or 6 on Sunday morning, and then it is a downward trend throughout the day from there. So, um, you know, I think this is probably a pretty good middle of the road temperature range on what to expect. I think any time after 1 tonight could happen, but 4 to 5 in the morning are certainly, I think, would be a more reasonable time to start to expect that. All right, let's talk about our winter storm warnings that we've got in place now really quickly as well. If we go ahead and take a look at our map and zoom it in here, winter storm warnings for most of the area now. If I just kind of back it out, I know we do have some viewers up towards the Indianapolis and Terre Haute area as well. Sometimes I forget you guys because we are southern Indiana weather, and you're not exactly southern Indiana, but we're certainly glad that you view us as well, and we like to cover the majority of the area that we can. So winter storm warnings extend as far north as just towards north of Indianapolis. Beyond that, you've got some winter weather advisories. Still some winter storm watches out. This is controlled by the National Weather Service up in northern Indiana. They'll probably change that a little bit as well. Still have a winter storm watch here for portions of southeastern Indiana as well. That'll be upgraded to a warning here shortly as well. It's just not at the time of the video. Louisville National Weather Service is working on that. They've actually got a conference call scheduled at 2:30 this afternoon. Would not be surprised if they don't have the warning issued before then so that they can discuss it on that conference call. They're working on it. It's going to come. I think the whole south part of the state is going to go under a warning. There's no question about that in my mind. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised to see some portions of Kentucky, and this may be the toughest thing of what the National Weather Service in Louisville is trying to decide, is not so much are we going to put a winter storm warning here in effect for southern Indiana, is do we need ice storm warnings down in Kentucky, given some of the significant amounts of icing that could happen down there. So I think that's sort of the holdup, but just expect that we will all go underneath of a winter storm warning at some point. Some of us already are, and some of us will be a little bit later. We'll have those maps posted on Facebook when the time comes. All right, let's talk about the 7-day forecast here real quick and sort of time this out. You can go to southernindianaweather.com, and then as you go there towards southernindianaweather.com, you'll be taken to the main page. Again, for those of you that are new with watching these, the forecast video is always up here in the top portion, and then you can get your 3-day forecast here. Hover over and click on 7-day forecast, though. You can get your most thorough forecast. And so we'll take a look at our 7-day forecast, sponsored by Ubelor and Sons in Jasper. Going up to about 51 today here, mostly cloudy and warmer. We got that winter storm moving in tonight. Again, that rain, little bit of rain potentially, changing over to freezing rain and sleet by Sunday morning. Sometime overnight. Is it going to be 1 a.m.? Is it going to be 3 a.m.? Honestly, it really doesn't matter. Obviously, the later it changes over, the less ice we're going to get, and that's a good thing. But we're going to get ice out of it regardless, one way or the other. Just expect sometime overnight tonight it's going to change. Going down to a low of around 32 by the time you get up tomorrow morning. Then temperatures will fall during the day on Sunday. Cloudy with that freezing rain and sleet mix. I wouldn't be surprised to see it all sleet in southern Indiana by the time you wake up on Sunday morning and to have made that transition over. But again, there could be that freezing rain around. We'll just have to see. But anyway, you're going to be an icing threat there early on Sunday morning. That'll turn to some heavier snow in the afternoon, later in the afternoon and evening hours. Again, a 1/4 inch of freezing rain accumulation possible. 2 to 6 inches of sleet and snow accumulations for most of us here in southern Indiana. On top of that ice, winter storm warning in effect for Sunday. Then we go down to 18 Sunday night. We've got a little bit of lingering snow showers on Monday. Otherwise, we're going to clear out a little bit on Monday, but look how bitterly cold it gets. We're only talking 23 for a high on Monday. Keep in mind our normal low is right around 30, so we're not even going to reach our normal low with this. And then look how the bottom falls out of the thermometer. We're talking 2 degrees on Monday night. So Keep it right here to Southern Indiana weather, and we'll keep you up to date with the latest. Make sure you keep up with our Facebook page. That will be where the most of the updates are posted. Stay safe, everyone.